We're
Oh, there we go.
a little bit of a delay. Sorry about that.
Oh my gosh. Hi, everybody. You are watching Movie Couple Live. Happy Batman Day.
Woohoo!
Happy Batman Day, and welcome to our live stream. And that is the Wrong Notes. You're Batman.
I was trying to
I'm Batman.
do my Batman voice.
Happy Batman Day. Welcome to our live stream. I can't do that forever. Where we talk about the latest in movie and pop culture news. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And on today's live stream, we are talking about She-Hulk casting.
And Miss Marvel finds its director,
The upcoming 72nd Emmy Awards.
an earthquake, and more.
Oh my gosh. I cannot wait until we get into that. But because it's on two separate things and I have to do this and somehow we are never prepared. And here we go. Okay, that's much better. All right, you guys. Hi, how are you? Welcome. And thank you to everyone who is joining us on this beautiful, beautiful Saturday. Oh, sounds weird. Why are we weird?
I hope it's nothing. I mean, it's probably just is it our helium voice again, or testing 1, 2, 3, audio down.
Okay.
Today has been a technology debacle all day long. Just trying to get
it's up and running. And
is that better? We're not using this now.
Okay, so now we're back to low voices. Okay, so it's probably the volume.
Deep. They said we sound deep.
Oh, so now we sound even more like Batman. So
let me try again. Hold on. I'm just okay. How do we sound now?
testing 1, 2, 3.
So is that better or worse? Because if it's worse, then
perfect.
Well, we got to give the chat a few seconds to catch up because you know they're on a delay. So that was when I switched to the other sound and then I switched back to what we had. So let's just see. Now it's too low, right?
Oh wait, so it was good at one point?
It was good because I had switched the somewhere in the middle. Oh god. I'm gonna wait for the chat to catch up. And we sound deep. Okay, cool. Then we just won't go with that audio today. We will we will go with the shitty audio that I didn't want to use, but we will use regardless.
Okay. Well,
don't know what happened there. Did we press something?
I don't know. I mean, every time I try to use that thing, it kind of just doesn't like me. I touch it. It's kind of like, what is it? Grant from Jurassic Park, where he just touches it and touches the computer.
Yeah.
And it starts going crazy on him. He's like, what happened? You touched it. That happens.
I just don't know what's going on.
Well, I think we're actually at a good point right now to where we can find out.
It's just going to bother me because our audio otherwise have sounded better before. So it's what it is. It's 2020. It's what it is. I part of me have given up. Anyways, you guys, happy Batman Day. So because of Batman Day, we want you guys to share with us your favorite Batman movies, moments, and whatever else you can think of. You could do that in the chat or in the comments. My favorite Batman moment, I'm trying to think.
I'd have to say one of mine is actually from Dark Knight. I mean, just because Dark Knight is in my personal opinion, one of the greatest Batman movies, let alone probably one of the greatest comic book movies ever made. And that moment with the Joker when
There's so many.
When he starts clapping. And it's great because everyone's reaction in that, since it was 100% all improv, no one knew that Heath Ledger was going to start clapping in that moment.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
No.
And everyone just had this.
We keep sinking. Why?
Like completely weirded out look on their face, like, what? And it was so real. So yeah, definitely. That's one of my favorite moments. The first one that kind of comes to my head.
Yeah.
But there's so many in that movie and so many in previous Batman movies. It's always a tear between Dark Knight and the original Batman.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually going to go somewhere. It's not even the movie round, but it's the animated Batman. Like one of the first. It's just because that was, aside from comics, I remember seeing Batman in like animated form and really, really liking it. Like the really old, I don't even know what year it was, but like I was a child when that came out. And I enjoyed watching it. I watched it with my dad a lot.
The animated Batman was groundbreaking at the time. And I mean, it still holds up to this day, going back and looking at it. And that's how I was I was like a fan of Batman, but then I became, oh wow, I really like Batman.
Really
Batman
like
is really cool.
Yeah.
Like this, yeah, it's the same animation that they used in Batman Mask of the Phantasm. That was an amazing movie.
And we have a quick question from Stardew, who's watching us from Twitch today. And Stardew's question is, quiz. I'm not going to know this. I'm going to fail. Oh. What show did the Batman sing in a TV show? The Adam West one, right?
Yeah, I think it was the Adam West one.
Yeah, maybe I didn't fail.
Maybe wait a second. There might have been an episode where like Bruce Wayne got up and sang like at a nightclub or something because he was like peer pressured, like, oh my gosh, it's Bruce Wayne, everyone. And he's gotten a big like, come up here, Bruce. I think somewhere in the animated series that also might have happened. But I also think, yeah, it definitely sounds like something like the Batman movie with Adam West.
Yeah.
That sounds like something that Batman would have done.
That's funny. Well, let us know, Stardew, as we scroll back down. But right now I'm scrolling up in the chat just to kind of see what you guys have written. Adrian Bailey wrote the 1989 Batman. Vanja says Batman versus Bane. Jack says Batman v Superman. Let's see. The Killing Joke from Tortilla Thrill. And let's see. Sheriff the Hufflepuff
Just one bad day away.
The End Fight for Batman v Superman. And Animated Show says Craig. And let's see, a lot of people saying the animated. Debbie says, honestly, just watching Heath Ledger as the Joker was the best. We agree.
Very true.
We agree. And so much more. You guys, let's go ahead and continue this, what do you call it? This
conversation in the chat.
Yeah, in the chat below as well. Batman Day.
Yep. Happy Batman Day.
Happy Batman Day, you guys. Okay, so some of the other announcements and topics, just announcements. We haven't got to topics yet. The announcements. And Chris, I do see that there was a super chat there, and we're going to get to it because it rolls in perfectly with one of our news flashes. So we're going to hold that, and then I'll pop it up in just a little bit. I'll probably make that the first one.
Okay.
So because I don't want to miss it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we also have a new video coming up on the channel later today, and that is going to be a non-spoiler review for The Devil All the Time. We just watched it on Netflix yesterday. Holy crap, you guys.
You got to check this movie out.
Check it out.
This is really I'm not going to say too much about it, but one of the things that I do say in the in our review is that it is definitely an actor's movie.
Oh man.
So definitely check it out. The performances are amazing. It's a deep movie, and it's one of those things that it just has this meaty character development and story progression.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to hear a little bit more about it, check out our review on YouTube, and then go and see it on Netflix because it's definitely worth your time.
Yes. And I think that's it for announcements, unless I'm missing something. Let me take a look. Oh, yeah, next Saturday. Okay, next Saturday, we have something else going on, so there probably won't be a stream on Saturday. Usually, I know we do like a stream on a different date just to kind of make up for it. We're not sure with our timeline we're going to be able to do it this time. So that might be a thing that happens. It probably is most likely to happen. So we're so sorry, but we'll still have the Wednesday stream.
Yes.
If we get to do an additional stream to kind of make up for the Saturday one, we will. But at this point, looking at our schedule, I don't think we are going to be able to, because then the only other day I can think of is like Wednesday and Thursday. And we already have one on Wednesday. It's just too close. Yeah. So that may be the case. So stay tuned for that. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to Newsflash. And I am going to rotate my topics because I had this last, but we're going to go ahead and put it down there first because Chris actually gave us a super chat that has to do with this. So both Adam and Chris and a bunch of you guys also on Discord, let us know, that there are new legacy lightsabers. I don't have words today. I'm so flustered by that stupid audio problem. Okay. Oh, let me take that off. So, okay, here we go. Here's a photo of the coming soon lightsabers, I think, to Galaxy's Edge. And right now there is a poll, and I can't remember if it was on Disney Parks blogs or if it's on the StarWars.com website, but both of these websites do have an article posted about these lightsabers, and they are coming to Galaxy's Edge. And one of the websites lets you vote on which one you want to see. And I was really stuck between Kanan and Cal and Ezra. I honestly want all of them.
Yes, that was actually going to be my next comment, was the fact that I'm like, I kind of want every single one of them because I want to have Qui-Gon's lightsaber.
Yeah.
I mean, Ezra and Kanan's are really cool looking. Lord Kovacs's looks just incredibly wicked.
Right?
I have to admit.
How do you even insert the lightsaber?
You have to be...
twist it?
It goes in between those spirals. And so you probably get this really cool glowing in between the spirals that are coming out of that. And I'm just like, oh,
yeah,
it looks so cool.
That looks really cool. And with that, let me go ahead and let's go back to Chris's super chat because I said it goes right into it. First of all, let us know which one you would pick out of the 6 that are displayed. And 2, for Chris's choice, with us being able to vote for the 6 choices for the next Legacy lightsaber, if you could choose any lightsaber, which one would you choose? I would choose Dooku's or Palpatine's. Any
lightsaber.
And I'm not going to say Ahsoka because you guys already know, like, I'm planning to get the Clone Wars ones and I already have her Rebels ones.
So trying to think of the different, honestly, if they were making a legendary version of it, it would be a little tough and difficult. But just because I would love to see how they kind of pull it off, to pull off the Inquisitor's lightsaber.
Oh my God, I said that on Discord.
Oh, really?
But but with the spinning motion.
To be able to have the spinning motion. Do you know, one, they would make so much extra money off of people having to rebuy the lightsaber tube.
Because it would be shattered.
And it would just break. So they would have to constantly be buying replacements for those. But I mean, even though I don't know if you really want to consider that a lightsaber because it's a little bit of a not cheap, but it gives people who aren't that strong in the Force a little bit better of an advantage.
Well, I mean, that's why they use it. It's
but
not
again,
about
that's
right
why
or
they
wrong.
use it.
It's because it can give you an uphand in the fight. I have 2 choices, and weirdly enough, they're both double-ended lightsabers. One is Asajj Ventress.
Oh, to see both of those twist together.
I want to see them having the connector being able to twist together because I think they're so cool, but I want them to be able to connect. And the other one would be Dark Ray Saber.
Oh,
with the spin out action. Yeah.
That would actually be really cool to be able to have that.
And I'm like not tall enough to wield a double lightsaber because I would have to put either 2 shorter blades on them. So when I fan one out, I don't crack it by accident, or just be prepared to like have to purchase additional lightsabers because I would break them. That's a great choice. That's a great question, Chris. Thank you so much as always.
Dark Ray's lightsaber. To see Ventress's lightsaber, to be able to get 2 of them that connect. That's what would really make Ventress's lightsabers a little bit cooler because I think right now you can buy like the one and they don't connect.
Yeah.
But to be able to get 2 of them and finally actually have them connect together is really cool.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, who was it that I was just right off the top of my head? But when you were talking about Dark Ray, she's not the first one to actually have one of those flip out lightsabers. There was a 4-armed Jedi that turned to the dark side in Clone Wars that actually would wield 2 of those.
I remember looking that up.
Can't remember his name.
Like, I feel like I've seen that lightsaber before, but I thought that was really interesting that they had that.
So I would love to see some of those lightsabers. I think it would be super cool, especially some of the more high tech, spinny parts, flippy parts in it, even though I think that it would make it really difficult and a little unwieldy.
a little unwieldy. A couple of you guys in the chat are also saying Rey's dark lightsaber, to see Ventress's. I see Palpatine, yellow lightsabers, and purple double-edged sabers.
Oh yeah.
I mean, why not? If you're not looking for a specific character's lightsaber, if you're just like creating lightsabers, that'd be cool. I wonder how long before, and they could charge you like an upcharge for it, but at Savi's workshop they'll let you do double-ended lightsabers.
That would be cool.
They would probably double your price because you're now getting double the material.
It would probably be $400 to actually have something that connect
people
together.
would pay. People would pay because ironically, I saw on Twitter, one of my friend posted, because you know how when we just talked about this too on the previous live stream, that they temporarily turned the Wonderground Gallery into like a Star Wars trading post. That's kind of like Galaxy's Edge inspired. Honestly, it doesn't, to be quite, maybe I'm in a cynical mood, but because of the stupid audio, but the shop doesn't look all that immersive.
The what?
The shop.
Oh no, it doesn't.
Like,
it's definitely not immersive
because they're not making it a permanent thing, which is good for the Wonderground Gallery, because I would like to continue to have that at Downtown Disney. But like, you can see that it's just, you know, it's the same white shelves that they use for the normal displays, and it's the same white walls with the rigging that's up for still for the gallery.
Yeah.
So like, you walk in it, you won't feel like you're at Galaxy's Edge, even though they tried to make it a little immersive.
You know what would work? That's where you could turn the void into Savvy's workshop.
Oh,
turn the void area right there, that little because that is, you have your entrance. This is where you can have people come in and book their time.
Maybe do
and
like
then you
people
take
at
a group in, and you would have those different areas to where you could tell the story, move them along, and then take them into the workshop, and then they would have a backdoor exit.
Yeah,
I think that actually would make the where the void was, that would be a better location to
that would be a better location.
And outside of Disneyland Savvy's workshop.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, I mean, I don't know how much longer Disney's going to be closed, though. I mean, I'm wondering
until they don't.
True. I mean, honestly, I'm pretty sure they're like doing everything they can to be like, okay, we want to get everything open.
Yeah.
So if they're planning to do that, then it's kind of like, well, we don't want to put all of this extra work into making the void space look like Savvy's workshop, when in fact they're just going to be like, well, it's only going to be up for like a month.
Right. And I don't know how the whole like leasing terms go, but just because a Disney property wants to move into a vacant spot doesn't mean they can automatically have it. I think they still probably have to pay money. Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure it's a separate thing. And obviously the reason they were able to do it with Wonderground is because they paid for the space. Yeah, true. So it's up to them to make it what they need to make. Yeah, so we'll see. And then another piece of news flash is, and I found this interesting, the iOS users got a new upgrade. iOS is like, I think like 14 or something, or whatever it is. I upgraded my phone. And like one of the things, and everybody, it was trending on Twitter for like a day, is now iPhone users have widgets. And I don't understand why people are so excited about getting widgets on an iPhone when Androids have had it forever.
It's like, come on, iPhone. I mean, this finally caught up, but I can kind of see how someone who has like who's never had it.
I guess so.
Who's kind of like, oh, this is cool. I'm now able to use it.
Yeah, I guess so. And I do enjoy seeing everybody's creative way of, you know, putting their widgets on their home screens and like making it look nice aesthetics. And I think I'm a little cynical because I've had Androids. I've been there with the widgets, but I'm going to let people have their fun. And also I never really minded like the way iPhones like laid out their apps, because you can edit them into a single like file. So you can have like, say, mobile games. You can have all your games in that one little box. So like you don't have to scroll through like 10 pages of apps to get to your one game. What's really cool is that they also now, if you scroll all the way to, if you scroll in the left direction, all the way towards the right, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense. But you can have, now you see the apps library. So you can see like all the apps that you have in alphabetical order, and they also group it for you. So that's one of my favorite things about the update so far, because I was like, well, that's pretty cool. But the widget thing, I was like, I guess we finally got, it took this long. We finally got widgets. I don't know. Thought that was funny. Let's see what anybody is saying about anything that we've talked about so far. Some people don't have updates yet. And we also have a super chat from Vanja. Hi, Vanja. Thank you so much. Is Lovecraft Country masterfully written or what? Also, please send me some friendship love. It's kind of rough for me these days. Oh, Vanja, we give you internet hugs.
Internet hugs.
Internet like pats as well. Sometimes you need those.
Oh yeah.
You need sorry. I didn't do it that hard, did I?
No.
Okay.
I happened to inhale and choke at the same time. That's all my fault. Not Wendy. Wendy is not beating me.
No, I mean, I'm 5'1", he's 6'1". I couldn't beat him if I tried. Maybe with my words. Maybe if I jab at him emotionally, but physically.
We just need some cuddle time and loves. But yes, I do have to admit, Lovecraft Country. Oh my God, that last episode. Episode 5 was amazing.
Wow.
It was masterfully written. So good to watch. It was just deep and character. I just loved it. I loved what they did. But I get to pat myself on the back now because I called it. I don't want to say too much. I called something about William and Christina, sorry. Ow, you're pinching me. What are you doing?
Your hat was in the way of this curtain and it was bugging me. My OCD is like full force today, you guys.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
All of the same, but yeah, Lovecraft Country is doing an amazing job. It is crushing it. And I love doing our reviews on it.
Yeah,
because
it's
really just fun to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys haven't gotten a chance to get into Lovecraft Country, highly recommend it.
Why is the camera not moving the way I need it to move? There. Oh my God. Okay. I'm not touching it now. Sorry, you guys. Yes, I really have been enjoying Lovecraft Country. I was hoping that like it wouldn't, once we hit certain episodes, it wouldn't just become like lazy writing or anything like that. And so far, I'm really, really liking it. I am also listening to the audiobook and it's just a little behind and I'm noticing the little bits of changes that they've made in the adaptation, but it's not so much so that it's like jarring where you're like, like I can't believe they changed that. So I'm liking the book and I'm liking the TV series so far. And Jack says that there's only 2 episodes left. Really?
Well, because
7
5,
episodes?
6, 7, maybe 3 episodes.
We have barely gotten to Gia.
Yeah.
Jamie John's character, who should be kind of the center focus for the next episode. But really only 7? That makes me really sad. I was hoping for like a 12 episode season.
Well, it is HBO and
so
it is one of those. Well, Game of Thrones was usually around 10 episodes.
So give us 10.
So like 10, 8, usually that's around there is about what they do.
Yeah.
But yeah, 7, that's kind of short.
They should give us 10. Yeah. But yes, we are loving Lovecraft Country so far. Spoiler reviews are up on our channel. We're usually a little bit late to them. So it's kind of in a way to ensure that everyone has seen it.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil it too much for people.
Yeah, it's like we could put it up Sunday night after we watch the episode, but I worry about people, even though it says spoiler review, even though we give like a big nice warning in the beginning, and people still sometimes they click forward and they just start reading or watching and then they're like, you spoiled it. And I'm like, well,
we said it was a spoiler.
Put it in the title. We try to give you a warning, but sometimes people skip. So we try to put it out like much later so that it is for sure mostly spoiler free for everybody, because by then people must have watched it. Hello to Martin, who has just joined the chat.
Hey Martin.
And hello to Loan Wen. Thank you so much for saying hello. Super fans of you guys forever. Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you so much for joining today, you guys. Feeling the love. Moving on to our next news flash, guys. Let's talk about this earthquake for a second. For anybody who's watching who resides in LA, we had a late night jolt yesterday, and it was interesting because Friday night, a lot of the Friday nights we have kind of reserved for like TTRPG. So we were playing a game called 10 Candles last night via Zoom with a few of our friends, and it was a very like emotionally charged one. Didn't expect it to go that way, but sometimes when you role play essentially in an RPG game, you be that character, invest in the character, and you just follow the story, because otherwise in like where are you doing it, if you don't want to be fully immersed.
And 10 Candles is very much a horror RPG. I mean, the whole point of 10 Candles is that at the beginning, your characters are working their way towards their last moments on Earth until the light of hope dies. That's kind of like the whole theme of 10 Candles. So at the end of it, we were just having this dramatic moment, and then we're like, oh,
it was just coming down.
It was heavy, and then boom, this earthquake hit, and like the whole house shook. And we were just like, oh my God. And we were just not in the right frame of mind to deal with an earthquake at this time. And I'm a California native, so I immediately went into, my brain just went under the table.
You dropped under the table much faster than I did, because the jolt happened and it felt like a truck ran into like our building, like our apartment building or something like that. And then the window shook, but then when the shaking didn't stop, I was like, oh, it's another earthquake. And I looked at Navi, who was like, down, like very low on her all fours, and she was like kind of like, imagine army crawling towards the front door, which is obviously closed. So I said into our Zoom cam, I was like, hold on, be right back, there's an earthquake. And I ripped them out, threw them down, and I dove after Navi, grabbed her, and then kind of dove underneath the dining room table where my laptop was set up for the night. And I just sat there and I covered her with my body because the table's next to a window. So if it did shatter, I just didn't want it to get her. So
fortunately, nothing got damaged.
A couple of little things fell over. Nothing broke. A couple of things made a little messes. Luckily, nothing broke. There doesn't seem to be any sort of damage, knock on wood, which is good. But it also meant that I was so anxious about an earthquake that I couldn't fall asleep until 3 a.m. And even then I kept on worrying that I was going to wake up to a jolt or something like that.
Well, and it's weird. I mean, what is it? Blade GTR is asking, please explain, Dustin, how is under the table better than open area outside. When an earthquake first happens, that's what that is what they say that is the best thing to do. The biggest scare thing that you're worried about in an earthquake, especially here in California, isn't technically necessarily the whole building collapsing on you anymore. What they're worried about now is things falling on you. So you first want to protect, get underneath, cover, wait for the earthquake to subside, gather your stuff, and then get out of the house.
Yeah.
So because they're like, you know what, the last thing you want to do, don't get into a door frame.
Yeah.
Because that was back when they had cinder brick houses. An earthquake would all collapse, and the only thing left standing would be that doorway. But now with building codes, they're like, no, they want you to be under the table, wait for it to be over. Have your the go pack, so to speak.
Yeah, your essentials
dash
earthquake.
Pack.
Yeah, go bag.
Grab your thing. So we grabbed our dog, grabbed our backpack, and ran outside. And we waited for a little bit, found out everything was all clear, and then we went back inside.
Yeah.
For me, it was just I'm like, okay, I'm kind of used to it. However, this is only Wendy's second boom or third earthquake.
So I am not completely a stranger to earthquakes. Growing up in Taiwan, we do have tremors, but I was much younger, obviously, when they happened, and I cared because it happened so often that I got so used to it. And there's never been in my life's experience, any that were so damaging, that was traumatizing. It was just you shake for a little bit and then it's over. I think the most I felt when I was little, I couldn't feel anything below a 5 point something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was so insensitive because my mom was really sensitive. She was like, there's an earthquake. And I was like, what? I told her once, I was like, Mom, go back to sleep. I told her that when I was little. But now kind of also knowing that California has the history of and everybody talks about it all the time. Is this the big one? I was like, I don't want to have to think about the big one, because that's the one thing that as far as natural disaster goes, I'm more experienced in, I guess you can say both, typhoons/hurricanes and earthquakes, right?
Yeah.
Growing up in Taiwan and also Florida gets a lot of hurricanes. But hurricanes, they're super damaging, especially category 3 and up. Usually 4 and 5 is the really bad ones, but you see them coming.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing.
For miles, days.
With a hurricane, you get to have hey, a hurricane is coming, get prepared.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, you have multiple in a season. You'll have hurricane after hurricane after hurricane.
Right now, there's 5.
Hurricane. Or hurricanes at multiple times, and they last a lot longer. For me, since I've grown up with earthquakes, I mean, the last big damaging earthquake that we really had was, there was the Ridgecrest one that happened last year.
Yes.
But that was, and that was in that area.
Yes.
However, I think the one that was oh my gosh, there's was freeways collapsed, buildings crumbled. That was back in was the Northridge earthquake back in 1996? 94. That's what it was. 1994.
I wasn't even here yet, and I remember.
So we haven't had
talking about
anything that big for a while.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think I would rather have these big bursts that happen all at once and then they're done.
Yeah.
As opposed to constantly.
Oh, you would prefer a big one?
No.
What?
As in we only have earthquakes very seldomly, and very seldomly are they incredibly damaging.
Oh yeah,
kind of
I
thing.
would like them to be like 5.1 and below.
To where we just have constant like 5.1.
I'd be okay with 5 point something and below, because usually they're not as damaging. Anything that's like above that, and I don't know. So I see a couple of you guys are kind of like, Jack is asking how they measure the earthquake. So they measure it on the Richter scale.
Actually, it's a different scale now, but it's
is it?
It's very similar to the Richter scale. And every time you go up a point, you actually are timesing it by one more. So if you go from a 1.0 earthquake to a 2.0 earthquake, you're actually going up is it 100 times stronger or 10 times? It's 10 times stronger.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like with one, you would have just one stick, but then you'd have 10 sticks with a 2.0. Then you would have 100 sticks with a 3.0, and it just gets exponentially larger. So those little decimal points make a huge difference.
Earthquakes are scary because it's harder to predict. And a couple of you guys are also mentioning in the chat the San Francisco-Oakland World Series. The 1989 earthquake.
That was a big one too.
The big one. And then also Blade GTR, equally scary. The only thing we have to worry about here in Texas is tornadoes and hurricanes. Hurricanes
tornadoes
also
and hurricanes.
Like tornadoes, hurricanes, like yes, it's scary. It's super terrible. It causes flooding. You can lose your homes. It can also create tornadoes, which is like a double scary thing. Thunder and lightning and all that stuff.
We also had fire tornadoes here.
Oh yeah. Look, guys, 2020 is just it just keeps on giving, because there's fires on the West Coast, and there's earthquakes, and there's pandemic, and there's so much more.
And
so
let's talk about something a little bit more fun. Let's move into our first topic of the day, which is the 72nd Emmy Award nominations.
Yay, you guys. I'm actually pretty excited about the Emmys this year. So this is going to be the 72nd annual Emmy Awards, and is going to be broadcast live on September 20th, this Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 5 p.m. PT, depending on where you live. And Jimmy Kimmel is hosting it, recording from downtown LA. And then the nominees, presenters, and winners will be cut to via digitally, obviously, around the world. And the producers, and I read this on, I want to say it was Deadline, but it could also be Variety. But they sent more than 150 video kits to the on-screen talents to help them produce the show at home, which I think is
brilliant.
Which is very smart. But also this, and I'll switch the graphic in 2 seconds.
I love this graphic.
The trophy presenters, quote unquote, may be visiting some of the winners live, and this is according to ABC. And they'll, this is not according to ABC. This is according to whatever outlet I pulled the article from. But with this announcement comes with a first look, which you can see right now.
I love that suit.
This is for the safety and health measures to the presenters and to the people that are delivering these Emmy trophies. So basically, the hazmat suit was created and designed by costume designer Katja Cahill and executive producer Guy Carrington, who also worked with a hazmat manufacturer to create these garments for the show. So basically, while most of the presenters will be getting their trophies kind of mailed to them, some of them who are able to receive and is okay to open to receive their Emmys, they will be presented to them via this way. Keeps the presenter who has to travel to various places safe. It also keeps the recipients of the awards safe. And I kind of love the look of it. You know what?
I think it's hilarious. I love the.
It's a tuxedo hazmat
I like
suit.
the whatever the fabric that is that they use for the hazmat suit. That they even made like a little bow tie out of it.
Yeah.
And they've even got the sleeves, the cuffs, the gloves, and I'm just like,
the bow tie and the 2 buttons is
hilarious,
giving me life. It's the best ever. Oh my gosh. And of course, there's already been big winners for this year, including Disney Plus's The Mandalorian, which has picked up 5 Creative Arts trophies so far. Also included in that category, The Watchmen with 4 awards and RuPaul's Drag Race with 4 awards. So I love it. I
think it's hilarious.
Ready for the Emmys. And let's go ahead and take a look at some of our the nominees that we're most excited for. So we'll start from Outstanding Comedy Series, and that includes Curb Your Enthusiasm, Dead to Me, Insecure, Schitt's Creek, The Good Place.
Good Place. I love Good Place.
The Kaminsky Method, and The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, What We Do in the Shadows.
What We Do in... Oh.
We are hoping, I'm hoping, I mean, these shows are all really good if you think about it. I think The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel have won consecutively in the past couple of them.
I think so, yeah.
I think they've got a few Emmys under their belt. I would love to see What We Do in the Shadows and The Good Place win as well, because like we're just such big fans of the show. But I kind of feel like it'll either go to Dead to Me or it'll go to Schitt's Creek. That's just kind of what I'm thinking. And for Outstanding Lead in a Comedy Series, we have Don Cheadle, we have Anthony Anderson, Rami Youssef, Eugene Levy or Levi, Ted Danson, Michael Douglas.
I'm excited about Ted Danson just because I loved what he did in The Good Place.
Yes.
I love the character that he portrayed. It was so much fun.
I'm gonna there's so many like people to go through. So we're just gonna be, so this doesn't take up the entirety of our live stream. I'm gonna go ahead and go to our shows, but do you want to look through the chat and see if anybody's saying anything about the hazmat suit or anything like that?
I have Twitch up. I don't actually have YouTube up.
Oh, what are they saying in Twitch?
So far, Star Drew. Would the awards go in? I can't read.
In Atlanta or Florida?
And Florida?
I feel like they are. I don't know this for a fact, so I'm just theorizing. But I theorize that they probably will deliver to those who reside in LA.
I think so too. I think the ones that are easy to get to and safe are the safest ones to get to, and the ones that are the easiest to get to are going to be the ones who are lucky enough to actually be like, yeah, hey, you get to have your award presented to you by the hazmat suit or the person in the hazmat suit.
Yes.
So I'm excited to see that. And also, this is another thing. I'm really curious on if they've let some winners already know, or they would have, I mean, if they're going to let them know ahead of time to be like, hey, you will be getting a call, or if it's going to be like, if you're nominated, stand by your camera and make sure you are logged on and ready to accept your award.
Yeah.
And wonder what they're going to do when they're going to.
I can't wait to
every
watch
production
it.
has technical difficulties.
Yeah.
There's going to be at least one or two of the people that are doing their live stream, and they sound funny for some strange reason because their audio isn't working perfectly right. Or, the video goes out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how are they going to juggle that?
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see. I'm really glad that they're doing this too.
Yeah.
Because this year is really changing our perspective on how we do everything. How we do social events, how we do award ceremonies, how we hang out with family, how we see movies. So seeing a lot of these things transition and seeing what's going to stay and what doesn't is going to be very interesting.
We have Blade GTR watching from Twitch who writes, I hope one of the winners opened the door in their bathrobe covered in chip crumbs. That would be like the most 2020 way to receive an Emmy. And I would love to see it. One of the one of the actors or producers or directors, I feel like would do it just because,
I think that would be funny. There'd be two different ways to answer the door.
Yeah.
Or there's millions of ways to answer the door. But one would be, just like Stardew said, where you open it up and you have like Cheetos all over you. And you're just like, huh?
Your hair is like the
I won? Oh, that's awesome. Cool, thanks. And he maybe oh yeah, I should thank people, kind of a thing, to where he just really wasn't prepared because he was at home in his pajamas.
Yes.
And then you also have like the starlet that will like open the door and be like, oh, I just woke up this way. And then she's like and then the decked out. The fan hits.
And she'll take her award. Thank you. Yeah, that'd be really funny.
Just to ham it up. And of course, you're doing this with actors.
So why not have some fun during the pandemic?
Have some fun. Yeah. Do something silly and slapstickish. So I'm excited to see how they pull this off.
And I love this comment from Adam, who's watching for us on YouTube. Adam says, Watchmen already got a few wins, which I am happy about. My big push right now is for the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance to win Best Children's Program.
Yes.
I feel like that's such an underrated show, and I would love to see some nods. And even though, yes,
I want them, they deserve an Emmy for all of the hard work that they've done.
Mm-hmm.
Children's programming, I'm not quite sure if, I mean, Dark Crystal really fits into children's programming because it's quite
well, we have to see in the category, because if Adam is saying that that's
the category that's
right, then it would...
no, true. And I would love for them to win some kind of acknowledgement. But it's kind of like, what is it? The Martian winning for best comedy and musical kind of thing. True, don't get me wrong.
But it's not really a comedy or a musical. I don't know why they put that in that category. That's weird.
It's because they wanted to give them an award, but they were like, well, this other category that it belongs in is already the award's going to this person, kind of this movie. So, guess we'll find out.
And let's talk about the nominees for Outstanding Drama Series, and that includes Better Call Saul, Killing Eve, or Ozark, Stranger Things, Succession, The Crown, Handmaid's Tale, The Mandalorian. Gosh, these are all excellent shows. It's really hard for me to pick one, but if I kind of want to get behind one, because I already feel that The Mandalorian is such a shoo-in for this category because everybody loves The Mandalorian, I'm going to put my vote towards Killing Eve. It's such a great show. It's such a great performance. I love Sandra Oh in it. I love what's her name? Her opposite part. Well, you haven't watched it yet.
No, but you've been raving about it ever since you started watching it. You were just like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Just through your excitement alone, I'm kind of like, you know what? This deserves some hype.
But I also wouldn't want to be like on the committee voting for it because that's hard.
Yeah,
that's a hard choice. And also we have this is an interesting one. I hadn't seen this one before. Probably just never like registered with me because sometimes we're also focused on like best drama series, best comedy series, best whatever series. Outstanding choreography for variety or reality programming, and we have Savage and Fenty show. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Fenty is the Rihanna makeup brand.
Oh, okay.
So You Think You Can Dance, the Oscars, and World of Dance.
Wait, the Oscars got nominated for
the Come Alive opening sequence.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Interesting. Oh, I don't know which one I would pick.
That's an interesting category.
These are all good. See, like this is why I wouldn't. I would be really, really hard. It would be really hard to be someone that's on the committee to like have to vote for this, because how do you pick, because they're all nominated for a reason, right? They're all really, really good. I wish, here we go, Outstanding Directing for a Drama Series, we have Homeland, 2 episodes from Ozark, we have a few episodes from Succession, The Crown, and The Morning Show, which we still have not watched yet because I have not activated my Apple TV Plus, which I probably should. Oh, okay, here we go. Outstanding Directing for a Limited Series, Little Fires Everywhere. I'm about to start watching because I just finished the book. The book's so good. Normal People, Unorthodox, Watchmen, 3 episodes. Wow. Well, okay, I feel like
definitely
the ratio there.
Watchmen does have a little bit of a head start on that.
Okay.
I love the fact that while we're scrolling through, we actually do see a lot of RuPaul.
Yes, I'm so happy about that. RuPaul is such a good show. It's one of the shows where you're like, I'm just going to watch one episode. And then 5 hours later, you're like, what happened? I am on season who knows what. It's a fun show to watch. Outstanding Directing for a variety series, a Black Lady sketch show that's on HBO. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver on HBO. Saturday Night Live with Eddie Murphy on NBC. The Daily Show with Trevor Noah on Comedy Central. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert on CBS, and Tiffany Haddish Presents They Ready on Netflix. Tiffany Haddish. So yeah, I feel like you and I definitely want to, if we can, tune in to the Emmys this year. I think this is one we usually I don't really tune in the whole time. Like I watch a little bit,
and then I just kind of background kind of thing.
I just kind of watch the recap the next day. But I feel like this year I kind of want to actually sit down.
Yeah, I'm really curious
to watch it.
I'm really curious on how they're going to do it.
Yeah, you want to watch it for the hazmat suit.
I do. I really do.
Oh my gosh. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, which is it's She-Hulk time. Woo-hoo! She-Hulk.
We actually have a She-Hulk.
Oh my gosh. So as you guys know, the titular hero has been cast, and actress Tatiana Maslany will be playing her, and you might know her from Black Orphan, so she's been cast. And they also have Jessica Gao, who is a writer for Rick and Morty, tapped to lead the writer's room. And She-Hulk joins the list of highly anticipated Marvel series for Disney+. This includes The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and Loki. And if you wanted to know anything about She-Hulk, just a quick kind of breakdown, she is Jennifer Walters. She's an attorney, and she is the cousin of Bruce Banner, who we know as the Hulk. And an emergency blood transfusion is from Bruce is basically what gives her power. But what sets her a little bit different from the Hulk is that she's actually able to keep her intelligence and personality when she hulks out, as opposed to Banner's version of the Hulk.
Yeah, which I think I'm curious on how much of that they're going to change, because with the way it is now, because right now you do have Hulk as Professor Hulk.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if it's going to be something more along the lines of an accident happens, Professor Hulk tries to help out, and he's like, well, the only way to help her is by giving her like my powers. So it's instead of like an accident, because I think that's what really happened, is that in the comic books
it wasn't an accident. I said it was an emergency.
Well, no. It's an accident in the way of they did not mean for the blood transfusion to give her the Hulk powers.
Got it.
So I'm curious on what little tweaks they're going to make to the story, because I think you need to make a few to make it kind of fit into their cinematic universe. But
how much of that do they actually want to change from the source material?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to go so like this being her first entrance into the MCU.
You really don't want to mess that up.
You don't want to change it too much where the fans are like, well, this isn't She-Hulk then. You know, she looks like She-Hulk, but then she's not really following the story. So that's interesting. And Debbie actually put up an interesting comment here in the chat. And she writes, there's a report out there that Spider-Man 3 and She-Hulk will be filming about the same time. And if you remember, Jennifer Walters, who is an attorney, and Peter needs a lawyer. So
very true.
They could, not saying Tom Holland will show up. Well, he should.
Yeah.
He should. Ooh, I actually love that a lot. I love that a lot.
Well, that's the best way to introduce some of these new characters is by making sure that they are introduced in a smaller role in a bigger movie.
Yes.
So then you get the chance of being able to kind of slowly progress their storyline. And are we going to meet her when she's already She-Hulk? And then we get like told her background. Or are we going to see her? And is she always going to be She-Hulk? Or is she going to be someone that does transform?
I think they'll have her transform. Because I would like to see Jennifer Walters as Jennifer Walters and her, her being an attorney and her being She-Hulk. I want to be able to see both of that. And I would hate to just kind of, and also Tatiana Maslany is such a, if you watch Orphan Black, like she's so good in it. Also, there's like, I think it's called like Serial with an S, not a C. And it's like an audio kind of like drama podcast sort of a thing, but they do scripted a lot of like Marvel series stuff. And they also have one for Orphan Black where Tatiana Maslany came back and she did the voices for all the various characters. And it was kind of like reliving the Orphan Black show all over again. But like you can, and what's cool about Serial Box, this is not sponsored, by the way. I just was sent some of the stuff and I talked about it on the Geek and Glitter podcast, and Grace and I did because Grace is a fan of Orphan Black as well. And we actually enjoyed it because you can listen to it and read it, and it picks up. So if you're switching from like audio to reading, it picks up from where you left off. Oh. Which I was like, yes, instead of like, I didn't do the bookmark, I don't remember. So that is something that's cool if you want to check out like different, I don't know, platforms where Orphan Black is available. But yeah, Mark Ruffalo also tweeted out once he heard about the news of Tatiana Maslany joining the family, wrote that he was like, hey, welcome to the family, cuz on Twitter.
I remember seeing that.
That was super cute. So we're super excited. And then Debbie also writes, if you saw the new Perry Mason, she was, I lost it.
I know sometimes the chat.
She was spectacular in it as well as Woman in Gold. Yeah, she is a really fantastic actress. And this just makes me excited. And I know we haven't even seen a single Marvel series on Disney Plus yet, but this just makes it, I think, the wait all that much more worth it.
Yeah. And also, I mean, I'm just super excited to see what they do with this character.
Yeah.
Because anytime they introduce a new character into the MCU, they get to play. All right, fine. So they get to play with a cute little puppy like Navi, but she has the derpiest face. However, I still think that being able to take some of these characters, because they're now starting to get, after they've done some of their A-list characters, some of their B-list characters, and these other characters that are just not as well known or as well much used in cinematic and cartoons and other kind of material, it's just great to be able to be like, you know what? We have these great characters that very few people know. Let's play with them. Let's bring them in.
Yeah.
Let's do stuff with them. So I'm very excited for them just to expand the universe.
And speaking of expanding the universe, we are also getting a Miss Marvel series for Disney Plus, which is so exciting. And they actually announced that they found their directors. And I am just going to go to my notes. So yes, they've tapped Bad Boys for Life directors. I'm going to totally mess up their names, so my apologies for pronouncing their names incorrectly. Adil El Arbi and Bilal Falah. And they, if you saw Bad Boys for Life, there are the two directors behind that film. And Miss Marvel is centered around Kamala Khan, who is a Pakistani-American teen living in a religious family in New Jersey while trying to find her own way, which is some of the plot I pulled off of, I want to say it was Variety. So this is also super exciting because I think not as many people know about Miss Marvel. And I think also like because she's got Marvel in her name, they're like, like young Captain Marvel. It's like, no. It's they're two separate superheroes.
Yeah.
And if you're playing the latest Avengers game, I think that's available for PS4, like Kamala is definitely in it.
She's like the main character.
And I hear a lot of people are like really enjoy playing as her. So this is really exciting because going back to what you were talking about them expanding to different characters, like diversity, different storylines and stuff like that. I think it's about time we shine a bit of light on Miss Marvel. So that's super exciting.
And plus, once again, they are just being able to expand their universe even more, you know, and to bring in more different cultures, different ethnicities. I think it's great to show that these superheroes are in our world. I mean, if you keep telling the same stories of just, Iron Man, Thor, but to bring in different ethnicities, different sexualities, it just makes your world richer. It makes the storytelling richer. So I'm just excited for them to do, more and more expansion of these stories and characters that fans are having great responses to, that people are loving, and to have just a wider, more unique world.
Yeah, this is so exciting, which means in 2021 and then on, we will be getting hopefully more and more of these like Marvel series, because they're not long like the episodes are, I think, like 6 to 8 episodes usually on a Disney Plus series, and we are not sure about runtime. I would like them to be like 45 minutes to an hour per episode, just because I'm selfish and greedy, and I want more and more. But I guess we should watch the very first one and see how it goes, which will be WandaVision by hopefully by Christmas time. We'll get to see WandaVision, which is like at first I was really mostly excited for the Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki, but then I saw the teases for WandaVision. I was like, okay, hold on. This is the way they're going about it. Okay. And that kind of moved up the list for me. So I'm really excited. And just to know that She-Hulk is coming, which was announced at Disney Plus, at D23 a couple years ago. Yeah. And was it last year? Gosh, I don't know. What is time? But they hadn't talked about Miss Marvel to be a series. They did talk about Moon Knight.
Yes.
And so far, I've not heard any news. I think I saw somebody ask about Moon Knight in the chat.
But Moon Knight is just another really cool subject to tackle, because it really does talk about mental health.
Yeah.
And how, you could still have a superhero that has mental health problems. So, once again, expand your universe.
Expand your universe.
Open your mind.
Open your mind. Celebrate. Yeah, I really can't find that one. It was David. Okay, so I'm gonna look for David's name. I can't. Here we go. Yeah, David writes, what I really want to hear soon is who they are casting as Moon Knight.
Mhm.
I don't even know where, like, kind of trying to think about who I'd want as Moon Knight.
Well, it's also, I would love to hear more about what they're planning to do with Moon Knight, then try and cast, and then I would like to hear casting about it. Certain information in a row.
Yeah.
In a row.
In a row.
Kind of thing. Not a roll, not like croissant. But to be able to hear more about what they're planning to do with it, where the direction is. And I think they're probably going to start working on like a Defenders kind of thing that they did on Netflix. But it's more along the lines, instead of what we had with them, we're going to get She-Hulk, we're going to get Moon Knight, we're going to get Miss Marvel, and have them form another group.
Yeah.
So I think that would be awesome.
That would be awesome. And Blade GTR is chiming in here. It says Moon Knight would be, I almost said Moonlight. Moon Knight would be amazing, but it would also have to go dark in order to be authentic.
True.
Moon Knight and Blade would have to be a darker version of the MCU. God, when talking about Blade, man, when he came on, when Mahershala
that was so
Ali
cool.
came on the stage and everybody was still kind of like talking about just, you know, the end of that Marvel presentation where all got a little like Black Widow hats on or whatever. And I was like, yeah, cool. And I was like, wait, and it didn't register until I saw his face and I recognized, I was like, Blade? What?
You're like, oh yeah. It took a second to finally hit you and go, oh my gosh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
But also, you know, something else that we've been super excited about. And we
Deadpool.
are honest. Yeah, Deadpool is. I was just talking to someone about Deadpool in the supermarket, and I honestly think that they could actually do if they had a solo or an independent or like a Deadpool movie where it's by himself and it's its own storyline. You can keep that rated R. But then they're like, well, how do you bring in Deadpool into like the more Avengers PG-13 kind of a thing? And I'm like, well, I think it would be hilarious if you actually bleeped everything that Deadpool does and he acknowledges it, to where everyone else in the team, all of the other X-Men or Avengers or whoever they're with at the time, all of them are like, why is he talking like this? I mean, to where they actually hear him swearing. And throughout the entire thing, he is just arguing with the censors. If something bloody happens, it's censored out. And it's all because we are seeing it through Deadpool's eyes. Only when Deadpool's around, though. And
that would be funny.
I think it would be hilarious because if you make a PG-13 movie with Deadpool, he's swearing this entire time where he's bleeped out. And people are like, Wade, stop swearing. Finally, you'll have someone near the very end. They get the one F-bomb. And then Deadpool's like, what? You give your one PG-13 F-bomb to them? I've been trying this entire time to get an F-bomb in.
And walks off.
And then, walks off.
Never comes back.
I think it would be just a hilarious little thing to kind of throw in there with Deadpool's character. How do you make such a meta fourth wall breaking character, R-rated fourth wall breaking character, fit in with this other
non-rated R,
non-fourth wall breaking movie?
Yeah.
And I think to have him doing that while fighting he's like actively fighting the censors throughout the movie would be a hilarious little gag to have throughout throughout his appearance in whatever movie he's in. And then he's like, I'm never doing another one of these ever again. And then he walks out.
And then he gets his own movie and then it'll be rated R.
And then like a big thing of cash drops down and he goes, okay, I will.
Oh,
and then he's like,
no.
And it's just about, Deadpool's just like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
I think it would just be hilarious to kind of play up that meta fourth wall breaking in a PG-13 Avengers movie or X-Men movie.
That would work, as a cameo, or sort of like a movie that he's kind of featured in. But for his own movie, I honestly wouldn't want that. I would want, because we already got the rated R version. Obviously, it was popular. Everybody talks about it. So I would hate for them to like take a step back and take away, what made Deadpool.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And it's all of those things combined. It's the rating to give them the ability to kind of have more flexibility to do what they want with the material, and creatively, you know, collaborating with the actors and the producers and the writers, you know, like that all needs to play together nicely for us to get, if we get another Deadpool movie, and it needs to be like that.
But I'm super excited about, you know, Disney hearing about this and maybe having that. So if you guys think that this is a good idea, you're like, Dustin, that is so dumb. I have no idea. Why do you think that would work, kind of a thing?
Because it's
put your thoughts in there. Tell me what you think. It's me just having fun on how could you make this work, kind of a thing.
We're going to wrap up today's live stream with Adam's question, who writes, my question is in the way of audience is, are we ready for a Deadpool movie that an audience can accept, especially since content retrospective is questionable, even if it was daring and awesome? I mean,
I think so. I mean, I think audiences, I mean, we've already seen that audiences love that kind of, love the character of Deadpool, and in a rated R movie, it fit perfectly. I've also seen really good versions of Deadpool in cartoon movies, in cartoons, to where they can't even say the word kill. So Deadpool deliberately said, let's go K-word people. And he's like, wait, Spider-Man's like, what? Well, and then he had this little monologue about, well, you know, the censors can't allow us to say that. So let's go. And Spider-Man's like, what are you talking about? I love it. I think it's hilarious to have a character like that. I think you have to be careful not to overdo it. But yeah.
Because then it just becomes like you're doing it to do it. Then it doesn't have a specific meaning anymore. Wasted Poe chimes in, that's a good idea, but I think huge companies intentionally saw away from the super specific fan ideas like this so they won't get sued.
True. But also, I mean, Disney, I won't sue you.
Well,
because honestly, no matter how much money or how much I try to sue you, I'm not going to win.
Why would you? What would you sue them for?
For stealing my idea about their property that they have the rights to.
Oh my God. I bet they've talked about it at length already.
I'm sure there's someone that's come up with that idea
Ever since that deal for Fox Disney was on the table, I'm sure that's one of the things they already talked about. So, and then just a final, let's see. Final couple of comments from Adam. Use the Mega Man Zero idea of replacing kill with retire.
That can work too.
Yeah, that can work too. And then MK writes, I don't think the Deadpool movies are all that controversial or questionable in content, even in retrospect. Just not content that would be friendly to the Disney brand.
Yeah.
And like, it's not something you can just put up on Disney Plus, I don't think.
No, true.
Like you need some like parental warnings. Like, is Deadpool even on Disney Plus right now? Yeah, see? So
I'm pretty sure it's not.
Maybe not yet. I think eventually, right, they'll put it. You think they'll never, because it's an R-rated film?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, that is really up to Disney. I mean, it's their property. It's their decision. I can give like what I would like to see. Honestly, I would love to see it on Disney Plus. I would love to be able to, but you know, Disney's very, very protective.
On the Hulu service.
It's on Hulu.
That makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah. And I guess you could put some of that stuff on Hulu.
I guess so.
Instead of Disney Plus.
Yeah. Since they own both anyways.
Very true. Same company.
Yeah. Well, you guys, that wraps up our Saturday live stream. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for putting up with our crap audio issues. I'm going to go figure that out as we end this. Thank you for watching. Thank you to everybody who's tuning in on both YouTube and Twitch. We will see you on Wednesday and then TBD for next Saturday's live stream, but we probably won't have one. Until then, you guys stay safe, watch movies, and we'll see